mandated that any kind of employee engagement programs or any employee support programs are not part of CSR. So as per the Indian Companies Act...
that wasn't my suggestion.
Yeah.
But it's true, though.
Yes.
But every time I look at companies and I examine their CSR program, they always call their employee benefit programs CSR. It's not.
In India, that's no longer possible.
Yeah, they need to separate. Yes?
Question. What is the effectiveness and relevance of a structured CSR program in a small and a medium scale enterprise? We are talking about bigger companies.
No, I think for smaller companies, it's probably easier to put it. I was a small company, very small, and I had a CSR program. So I was an SME myself. It doesn't have to be as big as Kraft. You can have impact if it's somebody within your village, within your town, an organization. If you're affecting 10 people with your CSR as a SME, that's fine. That's fine. It's got to grow from someplace. Hopefully, you know what the problem is in India, and it was one of the greatest quotes, is that small business in India is referred to as dwarfs because they never grow. Because of the regulations, taxes, the interstate issues that you have between the states, that's changing. It's changing. There is going to be the opportunity for small business to be babies because babies grow. Okay? So when you develop your CSR, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want your small, medium enterprise to be? More medium? More larger? You start somewhere. Make this part of your core strategy. If you're a small company or a big company, you actually have the advantage because you're small and you're going to learn. And if you stumble, you're going to get up, correct it, and move forward. You're going to look and micro that funding, that spend, and turn it into an earn. You may find, just like I did, the Boy Scouts of America were not the ones I was going to do it with. It's not, remember what Mother Teresa said. Even if it's $5, it's impact. You know, it doesn't have to be 100 million. When we did the Susan Komen, and I'm going to tell you exactly the difference. Goldman Sachs donates to New York Susan Komen alone like $10 million a year. They're a huge partner. You know what I gave? I gave them $200,000. But I got treated as big as Goldman Sachs. I gave them a lot of PSA, public service announcements, for free in my media. I did stuff with foods in a small area. Hispanic women with breast cancer. That's where I wanted my money to be spent. That's what was the difference. So we were small as compared to them, but pick the segment and the market that you want to do. And just, again, pivot as you develop. It's going to change. It's not going to be today what it was 5 years. Hopefully your business is going to grow. Right? It better. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I have an issue with the word CSR. Not that it is wrong or anything. I totally believe in it. I work for it. But going beyond that, I believe personally in ISR. Different from charity or philanthropy, but individual social responsibility. What is it? Why aren't we not doing it? Because my belief in ISR, and I always talk about it, it reflects in your own behavior, in your own personality, how you conduct, what you do, from the biggest to the smallest thing. It's not necessarily about money only. What about sensitivity to the causes, to the environment?
Personally, I'm going to tell you, it's very simple.
No,
it's very simple.
Let me finish. And you
I'm
talk about
stop.
culture.
Stop. You know what? You want your answer? It's called parenting. It's called parenting.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification.
That's simple.
Because
if you don't respect yourselves and you don't respect others,
absolutely,
and you haven't ingrained that into your children, you're not a good parent.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Here, I just wanted to add on to the culture aspect in our system, in our scriptures. Even when the food is cooked and served, the first bread, at least 4 pieces, one for the ants, one for the birds, one for the dog, and one for the crow. And that's, after that you eat, and of course, a major chunk for the Brahmin. Yeah. So you are sustaining your environment.
It's you know what? It's cultural norms, it's parenting,
Thank you.
but it comes down, trust me, we see it in the United States as well. It's not limited to India.
So one last question.
Yes?
I think the lady over here was here. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I look after a foundation called SRF Foundation. We are taking care of the CSR mandate of our own company, SRF, as well as we build the collaborations with 10 other corporates to take care of their CSR mandate, following the social enterprise principle. That is how we have reached around almost 400 schools.
Okay.
Though our mandate just talk about 50 schools, but through partnerships, enterprise principles following, 400 schools we reach. That is how we are working.
Good.
In the field of school education. Thank you.
That's like any business model, it can what we teach in the MBA class is the ability for a company to pivot, to innovate, to use your innovative muscle. If you don't use that muscle, you're going to be in trouble in business. CSR is the same thing. It constantly changes and evolves. And you keep on making better practices and you're going to different customers with it. So it's all about, you've got to treat it like you would treat any other business. You want to keep it going. Okay? Well, I want to say thank you. This has been terrific. I always love coming to this organization. I always do. You ask great questions. It's engaging, and I hope you have me come back sometime.
Thank you, Dad.
Oh, okay.
Dad has actually, this is the second time where Dad has addressed Flo, so that's why he's talking about it. And I'm sure we'll have you again.
Okay, thank you.
I think a room full of women and one very brave man. Many of us looking to scale our social venture ideas into scalable models, from conceptualization to commercialization. Today's session has given us some major key takeaways. A huge thank you to you, Daniel, for giving us not just the gift of your time, but your experience, your knowledge, and I think making this session truly a memorable one. Thank you, Archana Garodia Gupta, Flo President, Vasi Bharatram, Flo Vice President, and Latika Kohli for making this happen today. As always, Dr. Manju Kalra, Executive Director Flo, a huge thank you. Thank you to all of you. Please join us for lunch.